it's me, Bella again. Do you still remember my complicated love story with Ed, who's turned out to be the son of my big boss? Thank God I found out how much of a cheating jerk he was and broke free from that relationship. But then he again started to try hard to get me back. All the flowers and gifts must prove he still loved me, right? So I decided I was going to give him another chance. Only before I was able to tell him this, I overheard him talking to Ellie. It was pretty clear from their conversation that he only wanted to get back with me to hide the fact that he was still with Diane. Jim overheard them talking too, and he led me into the room and confronted them by saying, "You two, I don't know what's going on, but I'll protect Bella. Don't you dare hurt her, or else you'll have me to answer to." On hearing him say this, I looked up at him through teary eyes. Ed and Ellie were the worst type of people, but luckily for me, Jim was the best. Right now, I felt so vulnerable, but at least his kind words made me feel like I wasn't alone. He was like a big brother that always made me feel so safe. Then he led me outside, saying,
"Hell with those terrible people. Let's get out of here, Belle."
In a soulless state due to the shock, I followed him. He took me to the building rooftop, and it was good to breathe in some fresh air without anyone else gawping at me. We sat down, and he told me to take time to calm down and not to worry about the report that was due in that afternoon, as it could wait. He was looking at me with such caring eyes, and he even put his hand on mine as he said,
"And even if you feel like taking leave today, it's okay. I actually..."
He's so nice, but that made me feel kinda burdened, so I cut him off. "Jim, thank you so much. If it wasn't for you back there, I'm sure I would have fainted in front of them. And thank you for being so understanding. But you're still my boss, and I'm still an employee. We shouldn't let my personal issues affect work. And Jim, please." He tried interrupting me with,
"Bella, listen."
and,
"But Bella..."
but I still carried on. "I'm beyond grateful. But please, next time, you don't have to do that, especially in the office. That will give people something to talk about again. You know how they love to gossip about me already." He kept staring down at the ground and didn't say anything else. I forced a smile and wiped my tears away. "I'll be fine. I just need a few minutes alone right now. Then I'll go finish that report. Don't worry, Chief." He looked at me and let out a sigh, got up, then patted me on the shoulder.
"Okay, great. Just so you know, I've always got your back. I'll do anything to help you forget that jerk if you want."
He smiled and left. I sat there alone for a while. I don't know if it was the strong breeze making my eyes teary again, or that I just simply reached the peak of sorrow. Now I knew that Ed's affair with Diane wasn't just a mistake, but he really didn't love me anymore. And not only that, he clearly didn't care about me at all. Else, he wouldn't have been as heartless as to use me for his own sake. After that, I tried pushing my pain and heartache to one side and focusing on my work. But it was hard. I knew my colleagues were whispering nasty things about me. There were so many times when I went to make a coffee or walked into the toilets, and they'd go deadly silent and snigger in my direction. I couldn't focus on doing anything anymore, and even the simplest of jobs took me triple as long to do. It got to the point where I considered walking into Jim's office and quitting then and there. I already had my resignation email saved to my drafts. I love this job, but the people here are too toxic, and now I felt too suffocated. My career is important to me, but so is my pride. And right now, being here in this negative environment wasn't doing me any favors. And knowing Ed was so near to me, well, it made my situation even harder. Talking about Ed, obviously the flowers and gifts had stopped. He hadn't tried to contact me once since I overheard them, which says it all, really. I tried my best to avoid him. I once even hid behind the men's toilet door in a panic as I caught sight of him in the hallway, which got both me and some guys in there freaked out. At that awkward moment, I thought to myself, hey, what am I doing? Why am I acting like such a coward? I realized that I had nothing to feel ashamed about. Ed was the one who treated me like dirt. He should be the one hiding, not me. I realized then and there that I shouldn't have to run away from the job I love. and was good at because of a man too much of a coward to be honest with me. This was my dream job, and I will keep it. To hell with Ed. If anything, I have to stay here and show him what he missed out on. To be honest, after that unexpected enlightening moment in the men's toilets, I felt much better and ready to move on. Now I could walk past Ed with my head held high. But you know what? Each time we crossed paths, I still felt my heart ache a little. Ugh, why was this still happening? Thankfully, I had Jim around to cheer me up, and also his little brother John, who started working at the company as an intern in Ed and Ellie's project management department. Right from the first day at work, he had already impressed me, walking into the room with such a bright smile and ran right over greeting everyone, even complimented me on a design I was working on and stuff. I didn't even know that he was Jim's brother at the moment, but I already felt like I could befriend this kid. Our office needed more of this kind of positive energy. He's such a funny kid. He was always telling jokes and sending me memes. Soon, Jim, John, and me had grown pretty close, and we grabbed lunch together most days. John seemed smitten with Ellie. I mean, I couldn't blame him. She's beautiful. He sent her a coffee with a flirty note attached on it, and she took the coffee, but ripped off the note and stuck it onto John's forehead, saying, "This isn't what you're supposed to say to your boss," then walked off. Ouch! The poor kid sulked for the rest of the day and kept on grumbling about how women were hard work. Then Jim got annoyed and said,
"Isn't what Ellie said correct? You should just stop it already. She's really not someone appropriate for you to mingle with."
Jim had a point. Not only was she his boss, but dating within the company would just cause more gossip and dramas. And trust me, I knew all about that. But John is on the stubborn side, so he wouldn't give up. He continued to show his affection towards her. One time, he handed her a heart-shaped box of chocolates, and she rolled her eyes at him, then gave them out to the rest of the office. Ed caught sight of that and found out, and everyone could see he wasn't happy about that. I mean, she is his sister and all, so he was always giving John dirty looks and making him do all the boring jobs. One time over lunch, John was annoyed because Ed had given him a bunch of work to do over the weekend. So he said to me,
"Oh my God, Bella, I don't understand what you ever saw in Ed, but thank God we're all done with him now. You deserve so much better."
Then he patted Jim while he was sipping on his coffee and almost caused him to choke on it. Then said,
"See? Look at our Jim. He's nice. He's handsome. He's right in front of you. What are you waiting for?"
Jim quickly glared at him, then smiled at me, joking,
"Excuse me for my dumb little brother."
I giggled. These two really had helped me through all the tough times, and I was so grateful to have them both around. But things were about to change, as Jim was assigned for a month-long overseas business trip. I can't deny that I felt kinda worried about being at work without him there. Suddenly, I felt nervous and kind of empty imagining the long month ahead. But at least I still had John. He would keep me sane. I just hoped Ed wouldn't cause me any issues, as dealing with them without Jim having my back would be tricky. The night before Jim's flight, the three of us had dinner, and John kept on pushing Jim to drive me home after that. On the drive home, I joked with him about how I actually felt nervous that he'd be absent for a while. He looked all serious, but didn't say anything back, like he was thinking something. I had to clear things up, so I said, "Hey, don't worry, I'm just joking. Come on, smile for me. I won't get to see this smile for another month, right?" He gave me this soft look, then said,
"I'll be back soon. Just wait for me."
When we arrived at my front door, I wished him a safe travel, and he waved, then drove away. But as I was on the porch step, rummaging through my purse to find my door key, I suddenly felt a hand on my shoulder. Startled, I turned around to see Jim. I was stuttering. Jim? Why? He cut me off.
"Don't say anything. Just listen to me first, Bella. I love you."